revolution is televised.
We from Baltimore, 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 we from Baltimore.
Hello and welcome back to the KB Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by our new social, HLA. The premiere of HLA will be this Tuesday, classes beginning at 7:30, and the social will kick off shortly after that. Now, without further ado and any more words, here's your host of the KB Podcast, KB, the people's sidekick.
What's up, people? Once again, it's time to
Ring the alarm.
because the revolution is and will be televised right now. What is going on, y'all? Welcome everyone to the KB Podcast, and I am your host, KB, the people's sidekick, and man, what an insane last 7 days. I want to begin by giving a big shout out to my cousin. Well, cousin by me just calling him that. My cousin Shaka Brown and his awesome team for putting together an awesome event in the 2025 Capitol Congress. It truly embodied what I felt was our home Congress, and you should take a bow, sir. Rest up. Can't wait for next year. As for our new flagship program, Tuesday was pretty special. Shayla and I, in case y'all didn't know, we started a new social in the place of Project Mambo called HLA. So I walked into the spot kind of early. You know, it was about 6:30. I walked in, and people were walking back and forth, and you know, I started welcoming everyone. I honestly believed I was just expected to see Sean walk right in and start doing what he always does. But it's all on us now, so ready or not, here we are. Episode 0 of HLA was received pretty well. Shayla had an awesome bachata and on 2 class. The duo of DJ Alemania and myself had the crowd dancing, and we had fun from the beginning to the end. I can't say it enough, but thanks to everyone that came. It really took the nerves off. And in case y'all didn't know, the true premiere of HLA will be this Tuesday, but more on that later. We have come to the end of June, and for us at the KB Podcast, what a month it was. And like HLA, this show has been a learn-as-you-go experience. And I hope you all noticed the gradual changes for the better, especially these last few weeks. Still, like I said a few episodes back, we have to be all gas and no brakes going forward because my guest at this time is the embodiment of staying ahead of the game. One of the most recognized salsers in the world. This amazing woman is a 14-time world salsa champion, director of one of the largest dance academies here in the U.S., as well as someone that, when you listen to her, you can tell that she'll never lose her passion for a craft she fell in love with years ago. And get this, as demanding and as busy as her schedule is, she still made the time to hang out with yours truly. Just a beautiful soul, inside and out, humble and insanely talented. Here is my interview with the legendary Denisse Cambria. What's going on, everybody? This is the KB Podcast. I am KB, the people's sidekick, and I am here with the lovely Miss Denisse Cambria from Iroko. And let me tell you, before I even begin, I want to start by saying I've been in the scene maybe 5 years to now, and to where I know everyone in our area, but there are so many people that I don't know or I'm familiar with. So when people here found out I was interviewing you, a lot of people were like, oh, they were really looking forward to this. So before I begin, I just want to say thank you so much because you didn't have to do it. And I'm just very thankful. I know Shayla said something about you had jet lag. How are you feeling? Are you okay?
Yeah, a little tired, but I'm good.
Where did you go?
to LA. It's not that big of a deal, but it gets to me. It doesn't change.
Yeah, fair enough. No,
Yeah,
that's fair.
but we're good. We stayed a couple extra days, but it caught up on me. But I'm honored. Thank you so much for having me. Also,
Of course. Of course. All right. So,
ready.
that being said, so tell us a little bit about yourself. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm sure there's going to be some people that are going to be like, we know who she is. But there's going to be a whole bunch of people in our scene that, are young, that are growing up and that are learning and that may have heard of you, but don't know your story. So I figured we can do that now and just talk about it, and I can learn too because I don't know anything. So, so here we go. So, where did you grow up, and what kind of life was it for you as a kid?
Um, I grew up in Miami. I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. I actually also lived in Argentina for 2 years when I was 10 years old, from 10 to
Okay.
12. And then I came back to Miami and started all over again. It didn't go well over there in Argentina, like economically and all. Like we lost everything we went with. Um, so like my parents and us had to start all over again. It's me, it's my dad, mom, and three girls. I'm the oldest, middle sister, and the little. Yeah, I'm the
Oh,
oldest. I know the dancer ended up being the oldest, but that's that. And then, it was hard coming back from Argentina because I was like back in middle school. So it was like trying to be accepted, or my English wasn't too good and all that stuff. So it was a little bit tough. But, I mean, compared to other people's, upbringing, I think, sorry, that's my doggies. My doggies.
yeah. Don't even worry about it. We can things and don't even worry.
I'm sure this is normal. Hey, stop. Okay, so then what happened? I just started dancing at 15, and that's what really got me out of my shell. I
Oh,
have
wow.
to say, like, I was super shy and very, like, yeah, I was just very timid, and like, I was one of those kids that like did everything that was told, like, like a student. I had to be perfect, maybe because I was the oldest one. And then like dance came around, like I was introduced to dance, and I felt like I was just more myself. I was out of my shell. And as soon as I got into dance, I actually started teaching, like literally months after. Crazy thing, yes. But it was called Salsa Lovers. Salsa Lovers was the school that gave me the opportunity to start teaching. Um, but the salsa club in my high school was where I got introduced to salsa.
I see.
And then that's when somebody was like, hey, you're too good. You're talented. Come, let me take you to the school where they give opportunities for young people. And then they started training me, immediately started teaching. It was kind of like, I feel like it was a natural thing, like a natural gift that I was given from God to teach, because it was really natural for me. And I absolutely loved it. And ever since I was 15, I would say maybe 15 or 16 is when I started teaching immediately. Teaching casino, actually.
At 15.
Super young. So there were like older people I was teaching. It was pretty, like I went into the adult life real quick, I think.
So, and that was all in Florida.
In Florida, all in Miami. Yep.
Okay. So,
And
but
I haven't stopped. 21 years.
casino, so you were casino first.
Casino first, 100%.
So on one and dame and
Dile que no and all that stuff. And
oh
I
my
lead
gosh.
it, run it, and I will never forget my casino. It's my base. It's my everything. I did it for 9 years, and I taught it for that long while I was doing all the other things I was doing, which I'll go into that later if you want. But I danced with Shaka Brown. I danced with Our Liquid Silver. These are like names that are back in the day, big, really, 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 really big. That they ended up moving to Florida, and I was like that one girl that they look, like that they would, I guess, go to, because I always wanted it so bad. I was one of those that I just wanted it so bad, and I worked really hard, I think, and I also think I was talented, but I also always wanted to be like so good. I kept pushing for more. So when they'd come like, Denisse, I need a partner, and I know I've seen you at all the congresses. You're super talented, blah blah blah. I'll be like, yes, I'm ready, like everybody. So so yeah, Liquid Silver was on one LA style. he had a specific style to his shows. So I did like it's one of RoboCop. So oh my God, if you're gonna look this up, I know it's embarrassing now, but back in the day,
RoboCop.
yeah. So look it up later. Our liquid server and Denisse Cambria. There's a RoboCop. I look so different. Okay. I don't know why I'm saying this now. Okay, I should have said
This up later.
video.
Okay.
I should have not talked about these videos.
Yes.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Anyways,
Yourself
I
in.
messed myself up. I should stop talking. So that was that.
What's with you, Bert?
But yeah, within those like 15 years before I moved to Milan, I did ballroom, tango. I had another tango partner. I did just so much because I just wanted to grow. I just wanted so much. Like I wanted to learn so much. I loved it too much that I just kept doing all these things. And I did ballroom for like 5 years within that time when I was in my 20s. So all of these things I think is what made me today in my style today. But yeah, 21 years dancing. So basically since I was 15, I'm 36. A lot of it was in Miami. And then the last 10 years, I would say, was 1 year in Italy and then 7 years in New York. And then the last 3 years here in Tampa,
Okay.
something like that. So that's basically how it's spread out.
I definitely want to follow you on this trip to where you went to New York, but I'm going to assume that you started, like you said, at 15, and you just took that passion, fell in love with it, and just went bang, just moved into doing
Yeah, I love
a
it.
lot of the other adult things, like, I don't know, being 15 and teaching a casino class.
Seriously, yeah. I was ready to leave high school. Like that's how obsessed I was obsessed with dance and I was so like already like maturing fast, right? Because I was already teaching and all this stuff. That for me, high school was like, oh, I can't wait till it's over. But I was still doing really good. Like this is the way I am. I'm just a good student. I even went to college. I studied. I went to University of Florida, FIU. Not university, FIU, Florida International University, and
Yep.
I studied elementary education. I got a bachelor's in elementary education. Meanwhile, I was always still teaching and dancing. I was like one of those people. I had my schedule was 100% full because I just needed to continue dancing. But my parents wanted me to have a degree.
Yeah.
So I went to get my degree. I turned my degree into my mother. I said, Mom, here's my degree. And I continued dancing. I just like kept dancing and dancing and dancing. So it was just what I wanted. No matter what, the obstacles that came in, and mom, dad, and telling me you need to be something different than that's not a career. Then I kept like doing what they needed to see, gave it to them, but I continued dancing, and they still supported me because I think they couldn't fight me for it. They just saw
Yeah,
like my
yeah, because
passion.
you did what you were supposed. You did what they wanted you to do.
And I also did what they wanted. So they couldn't fight me. So at the end of the day, I always did what I loved, and I also think they wanted to support me, see me happy. So by me
Yeah.
dancing, they saw me happy. So, but that was, yeah, that was it. That was a lot of years of just dancing, a lot of different styles, and again, I think that's casino also is what's, I think, my base. So it's I feel like you can see it in my dance today,
Mm.
even though it's like so back there. Like I feel like it's also molded me
So now, was Milan before or after New York?
before. So it was.
Okay. So what brought you there?
I graduated. Jose Diaz was like, Denisse. He's seen me from all the events, and he's like, Denisse, you're so talented. I always get this this whole thing, and I was like, and of course, for me, it's like everything's a dream. And I got to a point that I didn't feel that I was growing anymore in salsa in Miami. I couldn't find any like next step. Um, Sorry, Nala. And so I then even did ballroom. I was already like maxed out. I was like, okay, what else do I do? And then and then Jose was like, listen, I need follows. Like there's an opportunity for you here. And I absolutely wasn't between moving to Euphoria. So Jose Diaz is an ex-Yamulet dancer who did really well in Europe, basically took the style, made it his own uh, choreography and style in Europe. And he was like the hit at that
Mm.
time. He was just like everybody was talking about him, bam. So, and I was like, whoa, like this is awesome because his choreographies to me I loved. And then Italy was like a dream because I'm Argentinian, so my background is very and Argentinians and Italians have the same culture. So I was like, oh, this is awesome to experience that at the same time. But it was mostly the opportunity that he was giving me that he said, hey, there's a spot available, come and take it. So
Mm.
I went and I was there for 8 months. Unfortunately, it didn't work out so well. It was just I think it was a tough time for the actual team itself. Like the guys were leaving the company. Like it was just like it's normal. It happens with every company. And I think like that was the time for him. And it is right when I came in. So the guys couldn't practice with me. There was no like push, and I was just there like I need to hurry up. I'm here. I moved here from Florida to be able to get better. So it was like just a bad timing for the team itself.
Yeah.
So then I was talking to Ernesto through messaging, and that's when he's like, "Hey, I spoke to Osmar. I know you've been wanting to come to Yamole. If anything, that was another option." And then once he was my mediator with Osmar, I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, I remember her because of course I was at every congress."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, tell her she'll be a semi-pro and pro as soon as he comes in." I was like, bam, grabbed all my shit
That
again and went to New York. Crazy. And then that's how that started.
I'm just glad that you read my mind because you was like, yeah. So Jose Diaz contacted me in my head. I'm like, who is Jose Diaz for 1,000?
There you go. So I was like, wait, so he's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an ex-Yamula dancer, and Euphoria was another company. And I think he still has his company.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. Or he's also that. He does this with Nerea, so you can look him up as Jose Nerea.
Okay.
They do amazing work. Yes, I'm also a big fan of them still. And and yeah, but that was just a bad time. It didn't work out. Bam, that's fine. Then talking to Ernesto with, of course, like talking and flirting. We had a little more than,
Uh,
but whatever. We'll talk about that another day.
yep.
Um, we regardless, my focus was dance. Like I was just trying to find the right. And New York wasn't the first one. I think what happened was when I went to New York to meet Osmar, he wasn't there, and it got mixed up. So and then I was like, okay, maybe it's not meant to be to do Yamule, and I went to Jose Diaz. But if not, Yamule would have been like also like one of my top choices. So, but it just happened to be that it had to happen that way. I had to go to Italy. I had to go through those struggles, try to learn the language. Like who knows? Like I just had to, and I don't regret any of it because that was my destiny. And then I met Ernesto, which I've known Ernesto, but we started talking through messaging due to this whole thing because I was like, hey, Ernesto, how's it going over there? I'm struggling over here. Is your experience the same? Because he had moved from Florida as well to move to straight
Oh,
to Yamule. So that was his story. And I was like, oh my God, it's similar. Like we were both looking to get better. So tell me your story. And he's like, oh, we're doing here. We're rehearsing every day. So once he started talking to me, obviously we got closer, but we started talking. He expressed that like how it was going over there, and I was like, wait, that's what I need right at the moment. So maybe that's how that happened. But and then Yamule for a year, New York movement. If you don't know New York movement, you have to look up New York movement. This was an all-star team that was together for 4 or 5 years. It was Fausto, Delia, Ernesto, Denise, Veronica, Jacob, Edwin. So these are all like all big dancers as well in that time.
Wait a minute, Fausto, like,
Yep, yep. Fausto. And,
okay,
it's crazy because it was such a
I
big
know
thing.
who that is.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It was a really big thing during the time that we were together. And like because of COVID, it kind of disappeared. We couldn't. We all moved out, whatever. We were together for 4 or 5 years, and we were like unbeatable, like undefeated, I guess, in all the competitions. So we actually got together mostly to compete. And then it was such a big deal. And then after COVID, new generation comes in, but like you said, like people don't know, and that's totally understandable. And a lot of people don't know about that team until you look it up, and you're like, oh shoot, these are really cool. And I think we were really good together. Like there's no director. It was just like an all-star team, just trying to push each other to compete only to like be the best of the best we can be.
but was it all within Yamule, or was
No,
it?
we had to leave Yamule to be able to do that. So we left Yamule, Ernesto and I, to be part of this team. Because yeah, we couldn't do both. Osmar wouldn't let us, which I totally understand. The dancers, we weren't allowed to be in Yamule and do New York movement.
Got it.
So I think once Ernesto and I were ready to do our own thing, which was like a year of me after being in Yamule, 2 years after Ernesto being in Yamule. Then we started New York movement at the same time that we started working together, Ernesto and I. And that was actually what helped us grow really fast as well. Besides Yamule was an experience that for us was really what set us up for the future,
For
because
everything else, yeah.
it's really what taught us the discipline, what taught us how to work hard, what taught us like how to work together, how to make it happen, how to push, you have no choice. Like this is the real world, and all these things, like these hardcore lessons that we learned it at Yamule. So, like a lot of our success, I would say we have to say that it was thanks to the discipline that we learned at Yamule, as tough as it was, because it was tough. It was tough love, but it was what taught us. And honestly, I think that's what made us strong. I mean, me personally, Ernesto has always been like strong minded, but me coming from Florida, like I follow the rules. Everything was, like I didn't understand that there's this, you have to be in people's face type of thing that that was in me. And that's what taught me what Yamule taught me. So I'm super blessed and thankful for that experience. And then New York movement was what also like taught us to be better dancers, because now we're trying to be the best of the best. So the combination of right after that, it just got us like go up and up and up. And then ever since then, Ernesto and I working together and New movement together, even though it was really hard, it was like our peak of our
But I
career.
do feel like, I mean, it's still kind of like an on and off switch, right? You can turn it on and be in, and be firm and say, hey, look, this is this and that is that. But, um, it doesn't like, if you were to tell me that, and then I see you and I'm talking to you and it's been what, 20 minutes, I'd be like, nah. So, no, but I believe
Yeah,
it because, you learn, and then like you said, like it's an on and off switch. You just say,
it's
hey,
like that.
look, yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm with you. So now
it's like
now
that.
you gotta be curious, because at first I was like, let's talk about, Iroko, the World Dance Project, but I'm like, wait a minute. Now I want to know, how did Iroko start?
Oh yeah.
Which, I'm so sorry, has nothing to do with anything I sent you. But
Okay.
but if you would humor me just for a minute and just take me, because both of you were in New York,
Yes.
and then um, you did the New York movement, and then you said, hey, let's do this. So
Yes.
how did that come to be?
Yes. It was crazy because it was one New York movement, one Ernesto and Denise. Yes. So it's 2018. Ernesto and I think it was mostly me. I love teams. I
Mhm.
absolutely love working in teams. And I was like, Ernesto, let's just do something like together. Let's do a team, blah, 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 blah. And like, uh, with all the rights, he was just like, no, let's wait. But 2018 came around. He said, all right, let's just do it. Right. And we started. And then We called it Iroko because we were obviously we like the songs. They all say Iroko, ven, ven, right? It's a vibe. So we asked our teacher, Afro-Cuban teacher Marisol Blanco, and we said, Marisol, do you think that actually he asked her, he's like, do you think Iroko is a good name for a team? And she's like, yes, of course it is. Awesome. This is great. And so obviously with the guidance of our teachers, we always go back to our teachers and ask them these type of questions. And she's like, yeah, Iroko is the tree where all the orishas like actually like pray to, or all the orishas go for like for guidance, and it's a tree of wisdom, of life. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. So then Iroko came about, Iroko Dance Company, right?
Yeah.
That was 2018. So what would we do? We'd have our rehearsals once a week, Tuesdays, and then but sometimes we'd add like Tuesdays and Thursdays. We would have morning rehearsals in Youth Movement at 9 in the morning. Ernesto and Denise rehearsals from like 3 to 5, and then Iroko rehearsals from 8 to 11. It was just like
Oh,
crazy life. It was very very crazy, but we were doing it. We were doing it, and that's why again Yamule taught us. You can do anything. We were struggling, but we in 2018 we started. We haven't stopped. Um, yeah, we competed the first time. We got second place, and then after that, first place, and then COVID hit. But
yeah.
it's basically a new team, if you want to say. I guess it's kind of new compared to all the success. Like Yamole, Latin Soul, and Tropical Gem, and we are honored to be named up there with those companies because we're technically a lot newer than them, and we're doing maybe as good as them. So we are at least based on like placement. We know how it goes in the
Yeah.
congresses. So we're super blessed, and that's our dream, right? To be there. And our biggest dream with Iroko is to build the dancers to like the way that Yamule built Ernesto and Denise, or like push Ernesto and Denise. Same thing. Our ultimate goal is to do the same with our company, build the dancers like Julian from Boston. He used to be in Iroko. Bruno, who dances with Karel, Bruno and Karel, he used to be in Iroko. So these obviously he Bruno was more an established dancer already, but Iroko maybe helped with his growth in his partner work or something that I feel that it feels good to be able to say, hey, Bruno was in Iroko. So it's just you know, it's awesome too. Nacho and Belen now they're in Europe and they're doing their thing, and we're happy to see their growth. So these are just dancers that all came and from Iroko and make us proud. So so that's what inspire us really.
So I feel not. I feel like I gained knowledge between these last couple of interviews. When you said Orisha, that sounded familiar to me. It was Afro-Cuban, right?
Yes,
Shout out Juan Rosa. Thank you. So
good. That's good.
interviewed him 2 weeks ago, and he explained the whole thing. And then I had to go back and do research on it. And I was like, I don't know what
Yes,
that is.
it's a whole thing. Yes.
Yeah. And man, so you did that. You made. Oh, and then the other part is what's interesting is you are now the third person I've talked to that got their dance company name off of a song, because I talked to last week. I interviewed Andres Geraldo from Salsa E Control in Boston, and he got it from a song.
Salsa y control,
Yeah,
salsa. Yeah.
yep, he got it from a song. And then Shayla and I, we have an event now. It's called Echale My Salsa. So it's pretty cool to get that connection and that understanding, because
Yeah.
when I heard Iroko, I immediately thought of the song, and I was like, well, maybe that's not why they came up with it. Oh no, it was why they came up with
That's
it.
partly. I honestly think I don't know if Ernesto already like like knew the word or thought about the because he studied Afro Cuban a lot more than me. So I think it was from a song because that we listen to it all the time. It's in all the songs. So I mean, a lot of salsa songs. So, but I wonder. I would have to ask him because he's the one that really thought about the word and then went to research it with Marisol. So I'll confirm that later. But I'm I mean, how would the word come up like that easy, right? I would assume that it would be the song, and be like, okay, teacher, is this good? So
Do you have a favorite version?
oh yeah, there's one out there. I again, Ernesto has it. He's a mind, the mastermind with the music, and he found this one that I was like, ooh, this is fire. But it's from YouTube. But anyways, the original, the original, which I'll find is also they're all there's
Yeah, you
also
gotta,
good.
because I'm also DJing, so
Okay,
you
so
can send that to
then
me
you
now.
need to talk to Ernesto. That's your man right there.
There it is. There it is. All right. So
He's also DJ. Yes.
yeah, so now let's get into the World Dance Project. Um, it well before that,
Okay.
it sounds to me like you and Ernesto, y'all, even though you were based in New York,
Hmm.
y'all went around the world. It seems like y'all went to
Hmm.
a lot of places. And I'm just curious, and I've asked this question to a couple of other people before. Um, are there any major differences in the scenes that you travel to? And for me, well, it's a two-part question. And then for someone like me who hasn't traveled to Florida to dance, um, how do you think that the scene is where you are? So let's tackle around the world first. Do you have and do you have a favorite that you can remember that you went to a congress, say somewhere out of the country, and you said, "Oh, this is dope," and then
Yeah.
yeah,
So back in the day, one of my when Ernesto and I started dancing, one of my dream congresses that I wanted to go to, two of them were Berlin Salsa Congress and Croatia. And we did get hired, which was like, woo, for us, it was like a big party. So that ever since then, I have to say that those two are one of the top congresses in Europe. They're pretty big and they're really good. At least in Berlin, I have also one of my best dances. And Croatia is just so big. It's just amazing to see that there's so many, like it just makes me happy to see have so much good energy in one place, like thousands and thousands. I think it's the biggest one in the world, so thousands of people. So um, those were congresses that I think are top still and are great. But nowadays, I do enjoy going to Live to Mambo events that are. It's one organizer. His name is Zaid. He does it in Prague, Rome, Budapest. I think a couple other ones, and the social dancing is amazing.
okay, yeah,
So
a bunch of people from the DMV, they went to Prague.
yeah,
I
we're
do
gonna
remember
go in
that
October.
out. And then Croatia, one of my one of my good friends, he went to Croatia and he was just happy because they had snacks.
Really? I think it's the Live to Mambo that has snacks. Could it be?
Okay,
I think it's
okay,
the one in Prague. Yeah, they
yeah,
have snacks and water for you all. You're like, wow, and it's expensive for an organizer to provide that, so
yeah.
it's really awesome because he has that at any time. It was great, and you're dancing good all night. The music is good. The people are, like he makes sure that there's good social dancers. I don't know how, but
Mm,
it's actually I see the top social dancers of Europe always in those events, and it's really fun, really great to see them like see us all together and jam out. So,
that's cool. So okay, so what do you think about the scene where you are?
our scene here in Tampa was a very baby scene until we moved here.
Hmm.
So, well, while we were here, it was still very baby. So I have to say, we have built it up. I feel um, with a lot of work, a lot of patience, we have built it up. So 4 years later, I think right now we're at a very good place, and we have built a nice community, and we're always working to build that. And what I mean by that is build the social dancers. So during class, we teach, and even during rehearsals, like partly of how we teach our dancers is the lead and follow. That always comes first because Ernesto and I were always social dancers first
First.
before performers. So to
Mm,
us, it's so important to have a scene that I look forward to dancing, than just building performers. So yes, there's two different things to focus on, but we make sure to mesh it and make sure that it all comes together because because it's important. Period. That's how we feel.
Yeah.
So then that's what we did. We worked hard on that. So it's been 4 or 5 years, I think 5 actually. And a lot of our students, there's a lot that have stuck with us since the beginning of COVID and that are now one of our top dancers here in Tampa. And I have a feeling, I feel like people when they come or usually what they say is like, oh yeah, I know if I go to Iroko, I'm gonna get good dances, like stuff like that. So I
Okay.
like to hear that. Like this is what we're pushing for. So we're getting there. We're getting there. There's a lot of work, and we still need a lot of more work, but we are getting there.
Yeah, I feel the same, where we are here, where we have like, Latin Vintage, they just did their 16th anniversary, and then Ardiente, they did their 9 year.
It is
And
awesome
so,
too.
yeah, shout out to Artie, shout out to David Cuevas. Yeah,
Shout out
and
to David.
and like that's kind of the same, like, a lot of people they go because they know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I really want to cut real quick because I feel bad. Shayla, can you get the headband from my car? It's in the it's on the gear shift. I'm like, I keep looking at myself and I'm like, because Shayla, all right, so I don't know if she told you or if you've seen any pictures of me. I am known when I'm in a scene, I am
Yeah.
known for wearing different headbands.
Okay.
So when she bought the Iroko headband, I lost it. I was like, oh my
I
God, this is so cool. And well, part of me, I lost it. Like I was excited. And then the other part was, why did she only give me one? So, and I'm like, are they in different colors? Like I'm like asking all these questions. I'm like,
That's so
man.
funny.
Yeah, no, I wear it. I was like, man, I was like, this is like the coolest thing. It, obviously, as you can see, it doesn't take much, but it, but I was pretty excited. And then I looked at myself and I was like, wait a minute, that was the whole, I was supposed to start the interview with it on.
With your head, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
You didn't forget to wear it, so
So
that makes me happy.
I did not forget. And I was very, very, when I saw it, I was excited
Obsessed.
and I was happy because
Yes.
the
Look
thing
at
is,
you.
yes. So the thing is, this is not a fashion statement by no means. It is. I am a guy that sweats all the damn time, and I will dance. And what used to happen was I wouldn't. I mean, I'm bald, so the sweat would just come here,
Yeah.
and then I can't see.
Yeah.
But then I'm stinging. My
That
eyes are.
makes sense. That's why we actually got them because we rehearse a lot. So some of the guys, actually another bald guy, he's the girl. He's the one that's dates our merch lady. We call her merch lady's lady. She helps me with merch. So she's like, Denise, I think we need to get headbands. I was like, yes, whatever you say. Let's get whatever you say. And it's because her boyfriend is bald and he sweats. Actually, not only him but everybody. So ever since we got them, it helps with the and the
I'm
dripping.
gonna tell you, I'm going to order a few more. Let you know. When it, All right. So let me look. All right. So now, I mean, we talked a little bit earlier about the World Dance Project, and we talked about, and I brought up Chicago because that was where my wife performed, and it was with two other people in Ohio. So, and the thing is like, she wouldn't have been able to do it if she didn't have, someone else that she could connect with. So to be able to just be like, who's here that's going, and we meet. And then after that, to be able to do the routine and then come back to you and say, well, hey, and I'm paraphrasing and I'm probably going too far because before I get into that, how did that become an idea for you?
Very good question. I actually had a group of girls back then. I had my pro team girls were helping me out because during COVID, I started this boot camp ladies thing because we were like, okay, we were at home, and I never done anything ladies. It was always partner work and stuff. So during COVID, I did this boot camp. Little did I know that that was going to blow up. That routine went crazy. It went viral. Everybody wanted to do it. So I was like, oh, bam, maybe I should do like a franchise team and start training girls all over. Like I can do this now with with
Yeah.
how my knowledge with how to use the internet and all this stuff. So I was like, boom. But then I was like, the girls were saying, no, Denise, look, you're too good um, or let's just put it this way. They just wanted to be able to, they appreciated me so much that they're like, why don't they all train with you directly? Because sometimes you have franchises and they have a director and they just do the routine and everybody, like basically they pay for the access of the choreography and they run the teams, they get the memberships and everybody learns under them, right? And I was telling the girls that my scare, what I was scared the most is my material being out there, right, and not being executed like how I wanted. There goes my control,
Well,
like
wait,
side of
wait,
it.
wait. So it didn't matter to you that someone was taking your, I'll say, curriculum and someone else doing it. You were worried whether or not it was doing been done correctly.
Yes, yes, because the thing is with franchise, which I think franchise are great. It's a great way of training, and I think it's awesome. But the thing also is sometimes some of the dancers themselves don't get to connect with the artist or
Exactly.
the choreography. So they have to, or sometimes they ask their director like, "How do you do this?" But it's not going to be the same way that I'm going to explain it, or I'm going to want to see it, or for my choreographies. You understand? Like I think it makes sense that only I will know the best way to execute it when I'm the one that's creating it.
You're the ones creating it. Yeah.
So I was like, why don't I have like why doesn't everybody just go and train directly with me?
Yeah.
And that's basically how it started. So then the dues are work the same. Everybody paid, instead of paying their dues to like a director, they pay directly to me because they're training directly with me. So these girls, for instance, my pro girls that are the girls that are in my pro team, they're the ones that help me with feedbacks because they're the ones that directly right next to me are learning the same thing and they train with me. So I train them monthly so that they are doing this work right. So they're giving the personal feedback based on how they know how I explain, how I teach, and everything. So it's all more direct.
I see.
So that's basically, instead of calling franchise teams, I call the World Project because it's a world, like it's a world team. So like we all in one place, and it's all directly like under my direction. So that's basically how it started because I was like, no, I want to control it. No, I want to learn from me. But it sounds funny, but I mean, we still have our Iroko franchise teams. It's hard with partner work. You can't. It's super hard with partner work. Ernesto and I can't be running franchise teams like that. But when when it shines, I found it easier to be able to. Hey, why not? Everybody, all of you, just directly just learn from me, right? I have recorded videos, and you just follow this. Turn in a video like this. It's just about the format, and that's why I think it's such a good program because the way we formatted, the way I came up with the curriculum and what steps they need to do and they need to do this before they do the choreo, things like that is what makes them better, makes them do good, and that's why maybe it's lasted so long since COVID.
Man, that's awesome. So, for the DC version of it, shout out to Camille and Melanie.
Yes.
The DC version of it, oh, and some other woman that I'm married to. Shout out to her too. Um,
Say hello.
my lovely wife. So there are only three ladies at the moment, and then something tells me, I mean, that's going to grow because all you're going to do is add more choreo, do different things, and more people are just going to love it. And
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
sure that number is not going to stay that way. I
cool.
was wondering, is there a set number that you have in mind for the minimum and maximum for the ladies to perform?
Minimum is definitely three.
Okay.
Minimum is definitely three. But maximum, I don't have a number. I don't
Yeah,
have it. As long as I can fit them on the stage and they're ready and they look good,
let's go.
we can go. And I
Yeah.
do that with my girls here in Tampa. I was like, 10 of you are ready and you're committed and we're going. And that's it.
Yeah, I just saw it was pretty cool because when Shay was down
Yeah,
there, it was like 20 of them, right? Like 20.
yeah.
Cool.
Actually, was oh here? Yeah, no, there were. I think there was like 20 or 30. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
insane,
they did good,
insane. And they're from everywhere.
and they're from everywhere. That's what I love. That we get this little choreo, this little like foundation, and we just all mesh. We all mesh. We all look good together. I don't know. It's great. I
But no,
that's
it has to make you feel
so
something
proud.
because,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
now what you're saying, what you're teaching, isn't just translating to someone that's physically in front of you. It's translating to so and so over in Arkansas, and this person and that person,
I know. That's it's
and
such a
it's
gift.
insane.
Yeah,
And then it helps with their core, it helps with their foundation, and then
yeah,
oh man, nah. When Shay first brought it to me, I was like, how the hell is that going to work? That's the
yeah.
first thing
I
that I thought
know.
about it. And then as she went through it, and then as she was doing all of, like, and then I was thinking about how do y'all do like positioning and all this other stuff, and just watching her train,
Hmm.
I was like, okay, well, still, how does that work in a group? And then Chicago happened, and I was like, oh,
It came together.
came together, right, right, and it came together. It came together like easily, like it was like it. They looked like they performed multiple times,
As
but
if
they were only
they
together once.
it was their debut. Their debut. Most of
Yeah,
them. Yeah,
that's insane.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
insane, and it's the same for when the ladies are performing here, and I
yeah,
keep looking at them, and I'm like, they haven't. I mean, they practice all the time, of course,
yeah,
but still, it's like they come together, and it's like it just seems like they've been doing it forever, but they weren't.
yeah. People
Man,
go crazy when they were like, "Oh, it's an online team." You're like, and they're like, "No way!" Like this, it doesn't seem like it because we look as one. And I don't know. I think obviously I have to be thankful for my experience that I can actually catch stuff like on through video and be like explaining, no, but fix it like this. But at the same time, it's a lot of them putting their time right into training with me. So like a big part is them doing that extra work and being like, okay, Denise said I got to do this technique video for me to get better. Boom, boom, boom. So it takes a lot to do that, and I have to give them props as well because working online is not that easy, right?
well,
We're
what's the difference? What's the difference between having a whole bunch of ladies physically with you, and you say, "Hey, practice this choreo at home. I want to see video of you practicing it. Let me see what it looks like."
There's a big difference because actually some people, the people that are in person most likely are not I mean, when they're used to that treat like that training, they tend to not do their homework and go do that online. Like
Ah,
they just like wait for next Monday when Denise is gonna go over it again, you know. So it's more like dependent on, which is fine too. Which like I understand. It's like when you go to college. Sometimes some people can do online courses, so some
yep.
people need
Some
to be in
people,
class.
yep.
Maybe I was one of those that I needed to be in class for some of them, right? So I have to say, like, it does. It's up to the person,
Yeah, no, I
and
agree. I just think the
it's
concept.
tough.
Yeah, no, but what you have done with it,
Thank you, thank
insane.
you,
Like you
thank
made a believer out of me because, like I said in the beginning,
you. You saw it. You're like, how in the world? And then you saw Shayla. Da, 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 da.
yeah, yep,
You know her.
yep,
She's.
and yes, I do.
I love her.
So far, I've spoken to a bunch of other directors as well. Like we talked about earlier, I interviewed Jalissa Cruz. I interviewed Juan Rosa of Mambo Magic in Uruguay, and I spoke to Jalissa last week, and she didn't give like she gave her best answer, and I was surprised she was able to do that. But you guys create these routines over and over and over again, and y'all do these different things, and then y'all, you wait, and then you do the routines, and then it's time for the next mission. It's time to come out with something different. It's time to,
Be better.
is there a rhyme or reason to how you figure this stuff out?
You know,
You and Ernesto, actually. Like, is there a rhyme or reason to just, say, oh, we're going to do this, and then we're going to add to it, and then, yeah, like,
a reason. The reason. The reason is always the strive to be better, or the strive to like kind of like the, also that little competition within all the teams and all the couples, like trying to be always at the same or higher like being up there, right? So that's like it's always like our push to continue to be better. But I think a lot of it has to do with finding the right song that we resonate with at the time. 'Cause that's another thing. Because sometimes you have a song that you have it in your pocket, and then it's not the time for it because you don't feel the connection with it at that time. Yet you hear it a year later, you're like, well, this is it. This is it right now. And it's ridiculous how that works. But that's the like the mind of the artist, I guess. I don't
I'm
know.
smiling because I'm having deja vu because Jalissa said the same thing last week.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah,
I love her. Of course, that's why
said the
she's
same
amazing.
thing. She said the same thing. That's nuts. Um,
Nuts.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's how it is. And then sometimes you come in and you're like, I nothing's coming up. I'm not inspired today. And you're like, you just got to let it go. And you go the next day and you see if you're inspired again. It's just like that's the mind. That's why sometimes people don't understand. Like our students sometimes don't understand like how we're gonna take the rehearsal. It's not up to them, and it's not up to us. Sometimes it is up to them because they're
yeah,
like not giving you energy. You're like, okay, go home. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Are you?
But
Are you really?
no, I'm kidding. It was one time I did that, but let's talk about. We're not gonna go there. But that day you're not inspired. Just like, all right, what are we doing choreo? Because I'm just not coming. Like it's not coming to me naturally, right?
Mm.
So some days it's just like that. But the song is important because it just has to like resonate with you at that time.
I just find it cool every time I see performances or something new, and I'm just like, it just happens.
It just happens.
It
Yeah,
just happens, and I'm like, man. And then you're doing it for so long,
yeah,
but the
yeah,
mission is always the same, and it's always you always figure out something new, something
yeah.
fresh, and it's just I for me that's crazy to think that. But then everybody has a craft, right? So you hone in on it. You do the best you can, and you try to stay with it for as long as you can. And it just looks like especially now that I'm doing homework on Iroko and watching performances, I'm like,
Thank you.
it's just amazing. So that being said, and this is probably a question a lot of the ladies in the World Dance Project may want to know as well.
Yes.
Do you have an idea of what's next?
Oh yes, I started the choreography already. This one
Oh, okay.
is resonates with me 100% right now. Has a little cha-cha, a little ballroom rumba, some Afro, typical Iroko. This is our
Mhm.
style. And then of course, the ballroom has that's in my background. So it's a new choreography. We're gonna put a little sneak peek soon.
Okay.
And yeah, this new choreography. We worked for it like 6 months, and then the next year we started performing it as a team. Everybody, maybe I'll do one more weekend there, maybe to do a little debut to get it out of our system in Tampa for those that can make it. And then starting January, we have some set events that I like to go and perform this routine. And I hope that everybody can. I think everybody's gonna love it. I
Yeah.
think. And that's it. Basically, again, I still follow the same format, and they have to follow basically have the same base and foundation before or during they're learning the choreography. But that's part of the process, and I'm excited for it. It's a great song. Hopefully, um, we'll be able to share it soon.
Well, I definitely, especially, well, now I have a little bit of personal interest. Next time you have a weekender, I'll be there.
Thank you.
I'll be
But
there.
now I need to see what's next
If
from you.
not, well, no, if not to dance with you once.
Yes,
Yeah. So I have to go. So
awesome. I would
yeah.
love that.
So all right. So another question that I've been asking everybody, and this is like the promoter DJ side of me, I'm just trying to get people's opinion on is without it being a band playing,
Okay.
how long do you think in a social a salsa song should be?
I think 2.5 minutes, or yeah, 2.5 minutes is great.
Okay.
After that, struggling.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
For me,
Not kidding.
you're not kidding. Yeah. Good
Well,
Lord.
thing is, another thing, I want to be able to dance with everyone, and like, I'm already tired. You know, it adds up. Yeah, no, I think 2 minutes and a half.
Yeah.
If it could be two, that'd be even better. That'd be even better. But
Yeah,
it's
I
hard to find.
feel
It's hard
like
to find music that's 2 minutes.
it's 3 minutes is
Yeah, three
all
minutes is
I've
normal.
found.
Yeah.
And I have looked through,
No, it's tough. It's tough.
but no, I love hearing from different people because, like, there are some people that's like, man, this song is 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. No. 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 That gets me a little frustrated sometimes. Not gonna lie, but you gotta do what you gotta
Yeah,
do.
no, I'm with you. So, all right. So, a couple of fun questions. So, what are other things that people may not know about you that has nothing to do with Iroko that you love to do? Or
I
dancing, period.
love family time.
Okay.
What'd you say? Or what?
Or dancing.
Or
So, no
dancing.
dancing, no Iroko. What do you love
Oh,
to do?
dancing. Yeah, I love family time. Any free time I have is like I go see my family. They're in Miami, so I'm super super close. Maybe obsessed. Anytime I get, even if it's once a month. And nature, I love nature. I love the beach. I'd go to springs if I can. I just have a big backyard. I just sometimes have my coffee outside. I just love nature
Oh.
and animals. But I don't know if there's anything extra. Like, I have to really get in there.
So now, as someone not familiar with Florida, are you around those places where the alligators are just like, hey, what's up?
Chilling? Yeah, of course. I go kayaking and they're right there. They're right there chilling.
Do nothing, and they don't
Nope.
bother you. You don't
No,
bother
as
them.
long as you don't bother them, they're chilling. It's really cool. I love doing that. With
So the Baltimore in me says, "Oh
no way.
hell, oh
Yep.
my gosh!"
And
But
we love doing that too. We love like that risk. We go on
so right in front
kayaking.
of a Publix, you just like walking, just
Oh, that too, yeah. My neighborhood, there was a big one in the middle of the street just walking. You're like, what? That's scary when you have your puppies out like that. That is scary.
yeah,
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 so that got me scared. So now I walk them on a leash all the time.
yeah.
But
All we have is geese, and we're
oh,
supposed to stop. They are assholes
but
too, by the way. But it's like
yeah,
they
they
they,
can be.
they, they just walk and they like,
Oh,
look,
they're like,
you ain't gonna hit
don't
me.
touch me.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
dare you to hit me. you
yeah.
know.
Right, right. Yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but it is a federal. It's a crime,
yeah.
not a
It's a
crime.
whole ass crime. Yeah, yeah. I
Maybe it
know
is. Yeah,
it is. I think so. I think so.
they could definitely ticket you for it. So
Yeah, they
they,
can.
yeah. So I know you got everything in the works. Not gonna go there because I know you got a lot going on.
That's true.
But
Always.
what I do want is for everybody in the DMV to take notice, especially the ladies, because it is for anybody who is having second guesses with regards to how you are able to teach people and not physically be near them. That myth can be put aside, and I really think that a lot of the ladies in the different scenes period could learn a lot from you.
Thank
I
you so
just
much.
and that was, you know, and it's really refreshing because initially when I talked to Shayla and I was like, oh, I'm doing a podcast, ask Denise if she wants to do it. But in my mind, it was she's a teacher, just ask her. I had no clue you were as great and as big as you are in this in this community. And knowing that and you still being able to just be like, all right,
Oh no, of course. Thank you.
not everybody, not
But not
everybody
everybody knows. Yeah.
not everybody has that mindset. And ladies, I think it is very important, whether you're on a team or not, because
Yeah.
gives
Yeah.
you it
It's
gives you
exciting.
it adds to the foundation.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
adds
Yeah.
to the foundation, and I've seen it. I've seen it at work. I've seen it look. I mean, I've seen it look amazing, and it just
Thanks.
makes me believe that you say it's impossible to do couples. I call bullshit. I feel like I feel like we're going to be. I'll check up on you yearly, and I feel like around 2027, you're going
No,
to,
maybe.
and it's going to
That's
be
a good one. I didn't think about it.
or men shines.
Yeah,
I'm sure y'all
he's
thought
starting.
about that. Yep,
Iroko Men is starting today.
I figured.
You're
Yeah,
gonna see a flyer out there.
yeah, no, I figured. Oh, and send it to me so I can, because what I do in my event, I push a lot of the flyers and it goes into a rotation so that all
Oh,
of the people can see it. So
yeah.
if you have any flyers with regards to either or, send them to me so that way people can get more information
Oh, yeah. I would love that.
come
Thank
to
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Spread the word.
So that's a way that they can find you. Where
Yes.
else can we find you if just to keep up with you and what you're doing?
Um, Good question. I mean, Instagram, obviously, Instagram and Facebook, Denisse Cambria. Or we also have Iroko Dance Academy, Instagram and Facebook. I think that's probably the most like you see us. We're very, we're not so like, how do you call it? We're very personal, I
Hmm.
guess, with our lives. So maybe we're not like super blah, all over Instagram and Facebook. But I always tell people feel free to like reach out if you have any questions or like. I usually respond. I know our inboxes look crazy, but I usually really try to respond if there's anything. I have some students that like tell me now that, hey, Denise, I went up to you and I asked you about this question and you told me this. I appreciate that. Thank you. Like, so you know, I'm an open book. We're just not on social media like that. I guess we could call us like little oldies when it comes
No,
to.
hey, look, I got my feelings hurt a couple of times when people are coming to me and saying, we don't use Facebook. I'm like,
Oh
damn,
my God, I know. I'm like, what? I'm always on Facebook. I'm
yeah,
one of the.
me too.
Yeah, he does that.
I was just like, damn. So
Yeah,
now it's like, you got to learn a whole new,
I know.
like,
That's the struggle.
that's the
That's our
struggle.
struggle.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Denise, man,
Thank you so much for having me.
I am honored. I am so thankful to you.
Of
Tell
course.
Ernesto
Thank
I said thanks for me borrowing 58 minutes and 15 seconds of your time.
you. No, it's nothing.
And I don't know where your schedule takes you. I pray that whether it's me coming down there or for some reason you're in DC, we got to get together. And you'll hear more from me. And I need like 80 more of these.
Got you. I wrote all that down. I got it. What color? All the colors.
Purple's my favorite color, but
Oh, it is?
yeah,
Oh, shoot.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll be in your ear about that, but I want like a good
Okay.
20 more.
Sounds good. I'll tell Lady.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll definitely reconnect.
Yes, I will. I promise. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Man, that was so dope. Denise, man, thank you so much for stopping by. Shayla and I will see you in Tampa soon. If you are interested in joining either the men's or women's teams of the Iroko World Dance Project, I'll post that information. I will also keep it on our board here at HLA along with information from all of our local dance teams. If you want to hone your skills, whether you are on a team or not, whether you're a performer or not, being able to learn from someone like Ernesto and Denise isn't a bad thing to have on your resume. And speaking of resumes and dance teams, it's about that time for tryouts, and one of the best teams we have in the DMV is having theirs coming up on July 18th, and that is the Latin Vintage Dance Company. You've seen them at the Capitol Congress, and if there's anything I've learned, is that nothing beats a failure but a try, so just do that. Try. You'll never know how far it could take you. And if you're a dance company in the area that needs to spread some news, hit me up. I got your back as well. So, if you're starting your path to joining one of these dance teams, or if you want to just dance, maybe you want a place to go and keep your level the way it is, whatever your purpose is, I'm sure the people at the Rising Star Dance Studio can help. So take a look at the website and begin, polish, or add another chapter to your dance journey. And if you want to check out what's happening this weekend and where you can go in your area to dance, check out the Mi Gente webpage. It is truly a one-stop shop in helping to get the know of what's going on. And with the Capitol Congress taking us for a ride in June, It's back to business as usual for all of us in the DMV. But before I talk about where I'm going to be, I wanted to post a little light on some of the other events that's happening. While you're listening to this, the Mecca that is Baila Thursdays will be back with another installment. On Friday, you got Fiesta Fridays, and they're going to be doing their thing at Cinco de Mayo. Actually, this is one of the few times I'll actually miss that event. Not to mention this Sunday, we have DMV Dancing Doodles with another installment of their awesome event at Franklin Hall. As for your friendly neighborhood sidekick, I'm going to be all over the place, but I know it will be fun. A little before the start of this episode, I should be on my way to my boy Victor Masonette and his event, Salsa at the Square. Classes at 6, with the party going on from 7 to 9. And I am just happy to finally get that right, because I've said 10 for the last 2 weeks. From there, I'll be going against the heavy traffic that's heading south for once, to the Baltimore area, where I'll be hanging out with my girl Marsha Bonet and their event, Latin Thursday at La Palapa in Ellicott City. Classes at 7:30 with the aforementioned Marsha, and the party kicks off at 9 with DJ Ray Parker. Tomorrow, while I'm normally at Fiesta Friday, and I still might be later that night, I will be spinning and helping out the dance scene here in Montgomery County, as the Rising Star Studio will be doing their summer showcase as they highlight the up and coming talents of the dance teams in the high schools of Montgomery County. And speaking of Rising Stars, Edwin Castiglione will be teaching a class at 6:30, and at 8 p.m., you'll get to see performances from the teams of Quince Orchard, Northwest, Walter Johnson, Rockville, and Gaithersburg High Schools. I'm sending this message out to the entire DMV. Guys, this is the future, man. If y'all want to be entertained and come out and see what the future looks like, man, y'all really, really, really should. And then, once all of that's over, you can come hang out with your sidekick, because I'll keep the party going until 11:30. On Saturday, I'll be heading over to the Mecca that is Mr. Mambo's, as another Congress that's coming up soon will be taking over. DCBX will be in the house, hosted by a friend of the program, the awesome Tanya Smith. Classes will start at 8 p.m. and the party will begin at 10. It's always an awesome time. Then on Sunday, we go underground. Salsa Underground returns, but at a new location this week at the Solaire Social in Silver Spring. Class will be at 5:30 with the director of the mighty Ardiente Dance Company's David Cuevas, and the social will start shortly after that with DJ Dola and an up-and-coming DJ that got her debut a few weeks ago at Project Mambo, DJ JoJo. And don't think I forgot about next Tuesday. Here's what we'll have going on next week.
I know you're out there. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin.
That's right, boys and girls. The official issue number 1 of Echele will be as advertised. We kick it off with a class by your favorite follow's favorite lead, Mr. Brandon Carretero. The social then kicks off, and spinning is a friend of the program, DJ Stephen Green. And if that wasn't enough, there will also be a performance by a team that is directed by tonight's guest, Denisse Cambria. Iroko Ladies World Dance Project DC will be giving us a show. Plus, there will be several drink specials and a few surprises as well. So there you have it. Our 10th episode of the KP Podcast is in the books, and I couldn't be prouder of it. The preview for July will be coming soon, and here's a hint. We'll be staying right at home. Should be fun. And with that said, I bid you all adieu. Thank you so much for tuning into the KP Podcast. For more information on the KB Podcast, and if you want to reach me with any questions or suggestions for guests, you can leave me a note on our website, kshay.com. I am KB, the People's Sidekick. I said what I wanted to say, so let's get it.